The termination letter. One evening, my dad came home looking very sad. He sat down and told my mom, I lost my job. I have been fired. Our life is over. We are finished. He looked upset, and I could tell he was really sad. Mom just sat next to him quietly. She took off his jacket and turned on the fan to cool him down. She said, We're not finished. We'll be okay. Then my mom asked my big sister, Maria, to bring my dad some food. I was wondering why mom was acting so calm, but she didn't seem worried at all. He just ate about 10 spoonfuls of the rice that my sister had placed on the dining table for him. The meat he did not even touch. My father was a very heavy eater. He must really be in a terrible mood for him not to have eaten from the food. I felt for him. I really felt for him. My mom told him, Don't worry about the past. We need to think about what we can do next. We will be okay. Dad looked at her, and I think he was surprised. Usually, my dad makes all the big decisions, but mom was now in charge. She asked him, How much money do we have in the bank? Dad didn't know what to say, but mom kept asking, so he told her a little bit of money. Mom then said, I have twice that amount. Dad didn't know that mom's small drink business made so much money. She had saved it. She told Dad, We can use our money to start something new. We'll sell eggs and you can deliver them in the car. Dad was surprised, but he listened to our plan. They talked a lot, and then Mom said, We need to be careful with how we spend money. I'll take care of everything for 6 months, and then you can take over. I thought Dad would disagree, but he didn't. He nodded and agreed. One day, Mom told Dad that even though he lost his job, it was okay because now he would work for himself and do something even better. Dad agreed. After that, Mom asked me where my brothers were. I told her they were playing football. She told me to ask my sister to bring water for Dad to bathe. When Dad was finished, he felt much better. Later that night, Mom called everyone together for a family meeting. My brothers, Kilowini and Vitanda, came home, and my elder brother Zakeo was back from university. We all sat around the table, and Mom said, Your dad lost his job. We were all surprised and asked what happened. She told us she wasn't worried about the past. Instead, she said, we needed to think about what we would do next. Mom told us Dad wouldn't look for another job, but then she told us something surprising. Dad would start a new job selling eggs. We all couldn't believe it, but Mom explained that Dad would work for himself, make his own schedule, and not have to rush to work anymore. The next day, we all started helping. We began making food to sell, and soon we were selling eggs too. We worked really hard, and after a month, we had a small shop and a laundry business. The more we worked, the more our business grew. Dad did deliveries, and Mom took care of the money and business. Eventually, we had more shops and even cars, and we moved into a new house. We were proud of what we had done, and our family became stronger than ever. Even though things started out bad, we worked together and didn't give up. It turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to us. As time passed, our family became known for working hard. We didn't get rich quickly, but we did become successful because we worked together. People from surrounding villages of Mzalangwe and Mutanta came to us for advice, and we helped them by paying school fees for children. We taught them to never give up. One day, my mom helped a lot of women in the neighborhood. She showed them how to start their own businesses. They called themselves Amayi Achitukuko, which means Mothers of Progress. Because of my mom's help, many women started selling things like tomatoes or opening their own hair salons. Dad became known as the egg boss, and he helped other men who lost their jobs. He hired two young men who had to leave school because they were poor. Dad told them, You're not working for me, you're working with us. Learn everything so you can start your own business one day. Our house was filled with customers and food smells. We moved into a bigger house that we made with hard work and love. One day, we had a party to celebrate my graduation. It was simple, but it was full of happiness. I told everyone, this degree is for all of us, especially for my mom who made it all happen. Mom still helped everyone, even though she became famous. She taught women, helped young people, and was invited to big events as a main guest speaker. But she never changed. She still played the motherly role, packed eggs, and checked receipts, just like before. As time went on, we continued to help others. We started a group to help kids go to school. Zakio built homes for families, and Vitanda made an app to help people who sell things in the market. Dad kept telling people that sometimes losing something helps you find your true purpose. Our family continued to grow, and we started the Zotica Center, where people could learn how to build businesses. We kept helping the community, and it felt really good. Our motto was "We're not finished" because we believe that no matter what happens, we could always start again. Mom taught us that when something bad happens, it's not the end, it's just the beginning of something stronger. Our business kept growing, and so did our dreams. We helped kids, started new projects, and taught others to rise up. Even though things were hard at first, we never gave up. We worked together, and that's what made everything work. Now, 10 years later, we are still growing. We are helping others and continuing our journey because we know that we are never finished. We are still just starting. One evening, when the sun was setting and the sky was turning orange and pink, our family sat outside on the porch. Dad smiled at us and said, "You know, if I had known losing my job would lead us here, I would have quit earlier." We all laughed, but I could tell he meant it. Sometimes bad things happen, but they can turn into good things. Dad became known as Buana Mazera, the egg boss. He made sure the business ran smoothly and even hired two young men who couldn't afford to go to school. He told them, "You're not working for me, you're working with us. Learn everything so you can start your own business one day." Our house smelled like fried mandisi in the morning, and by afternoon, it was full of customers. We finally moved into our new home. It had a big kitchen, a garden, and a study room we all helped design. On the wall of that room, Mom hung a quote she had written the night Dad lost his job. "Adversity introduces a person to themselves. Rise." I always look at that quote when things are tough, and it helps me feel strong. Years passed, and we didn't just survive, we thrived. We even helped children in our community by paying for their school fees. Every term, Mom and Dad secretly paid for uniforms and books. Mom always said, "Don't tell them it's from us. Let them believe they are just lucky. That way, they'll never feel small." The businesses we started became places where kids could learn new skills. Boys who used to play football came to our laundry shops, where they learned how to use washing machines, keep track of sales, and even write down customers' names. One of them, Davy, started his own laundry shop in another town. He called it Tandizo Wash Line, which means help wash line. When people asked him how he did it, he always said it started with eggs. We didn't stop there. With Zakio, who became a civil engineer, we got some land and built a place called the Zoteca Center. It was a place where women and young people could learn skills like sewing, baking, farming, and managing money. It wasn't huge, but it was beautiful. It was hope, standing strong in concrete and color. When we opened the center, there was music, dancing, and speeches. But my favorite part was when Mom stood up, wearing her simple dress and held her old business notebook. She said, "We're here not because we had a lot of money, but because we had dreams, hard work, and belief. If you have those, even a crate of eggs can change your life." The crowd clapped for a long time, and some people even cried. I realized that day that our story wasn't just a story anymore, it was a guide for others to follow. And we were no longer just a family, we were part of something bigger. As Zotika Enterprises grew, so did our dreams. It wasn't just about surviving or succeeding, it was about making a difference, leaving something that would last forever. It was about helping others. Zakio, now an engineer, helped build homes for families in need. He called the project TNE Titukuke, which means "Let's Rise Together." The idea was simple: build homes using local materials and teach young people how to build. Zakio worked with donors and organizations but made sure the project stayed connected to the community. Each house had a plaque that said, "This house was built by those who didn't give up." Our story was no longer just about a family who worked together. It was a story about hope, about never giving up, and about lifting others up. And now, even after all these years, we still keep the sign in our house that says, "We're not finished." Every time I see it, I remember that night when Dad lost his job and I smile. Because Mom was right. We hadn't finished. We had just started. One day, something happened that made everyone in our family smile. It was Saturday, and we were all in the kitchen together, getting ready for lunch. Mom was stirring the pot, and Dad was washing some dishes. Then Kilowini, who was now grown up, came into the room with a big smile on his face. I've got good news, Kilowini said. What is it? I asked, excited to hear. I'm going to walk in the city, he said, his voice full of happiness. Mom turned to him and said, That's wonderful, Kilowini. You're growing up so fast. We all gave him a big hug. It felt so good to see him going after his dreams. He was going to work in a big company, and we were all so proud of him. But even though Chiloweni was going to work in the city, he didn't forget about our family. He still helped out every chance he got. He would come back to visit us every weekend, bringing little treats like fruit or sweets for everyone. And he always shared his experiences and learned things that he would tell us about. He reminded us how important it was to keep dreaming no matter how old we were. You were learning something very important. It didn't matter where you were, you could still make a difference. Kiloweni showed us that even if you went far away, you could still stay close in your heart and help those around you. One weekend, when he came home to visit, he brought a surprise. He had a laptop. This is for the family, he said. I want us to start learning more about the world. There's so much we can do with this. Mom and Dad were excited. We all gathered around the laptop, and Chiloweni showed us how to use it. He showed us how to connect to the internet, search for things, watch videos, and even send messages to people far away. It was like magic. The laptop became part of our family. We used it to learn new things from growing vegetables to learning about different animals. Dad even used it to find new ways to improve our business. Mom liked to search for recipes. And we all had fun looking up funny videos together. But the best part was when we started to help other people with the laptop. We used it to teach the children in our community how to read and write. Every Saturday afternoon, we opened the doors to our house, and the children came in to learn from us. We taught them how to read stories and how to write their names. Mom was the teacher. She showed them how to form letters and taught them the sounds of each one. Dad would help the older kids with math, and I would help by reading the stories out loud. It was so much fun. Soon, other families in the village saw what we were doing and wanted to help too. More and more children came to learn. It felt so good to see the happy faces of the kids as they learned new things. We all felt proud that we were making a difference in their lives. It wasn't just about books and lessons. We learned that teaching wasn't only for school, it was about sharing our hearts and giving others the chance to grow. Every day, we learned something new about kindness, love, and family. We also learned that when you give, you always receive something special back. There was one little girl named Toko who was very shy. She didn't like to speak in front of others and she never smiled much. At first, she would sit quietly at the back of the room and listen. But little by little, we noticed that Toko was starting to open up. She began to raise her hand and ask questions. Soon she was reading the stories out loud, and her face started to shine with happiness. One day, when we were teaching the children, Toko smiled for the first time. It was a big, bright smile, and it made everyone in the room feel so warm inside. Mom was so proud of her, and we all clapped for Toko. You did great, Mom said, giving her a big hug. See what happens when you believe in yourself. Toko's smile was proof that we were all on the right path. We had helped her believe in herself, and she was helping others too. That day, Mom said, we are all teachers and learners. We learn from each other every day. We kept teaching the children, and more good things happened. One of the older boys, Michael, wanted to start his own garden. He asked Dad for advice. Dad gave him tips on how to plant seeds and water the plants. Michael worked hard, and soon he had a beautiful garden full of vegetables. He sold the extra vegetables at the market, and with the money, he was able to pay for school books and uniforms. Michael wasn't the only one who started something new. Soon, many of the kids were using what they had learned to make their lives better. It was amazing to see how they all worked together to help one another. We didn't just teach them to read and write, we taught them how to dream big and turn their dreams into reality. Mom and Dad were so proud of all of us. They always said, it's not just about what you have, but what you give. Every year, we celebrated the progress of our little school. The children made cards for us and we made special treats. We sang songs and danced. It was a time for everyone to feel proud of how far we had come. And every year, we got better at sharing, learning, and growing together. One day, when we were having one of our celebrations, a woman from a big city came to visit. She had heard about what we were doing and she wanted to see it for herself. Mom smiled and said, we didn't do it alone, we did it together as a family. We believe that everyone has something special to offer, and when we share that, we can make the world a better place. The woman smiled and said, you're right. I can see that you've made a big difference. I want to help you reach even more people. She gave us a big donation to help us continue our work, and she promised to tell others about what we were doing. That day, we felt so proud of our hard work and how far we had come. We knew that our story was just beginning. We had started with something small, but now we were making a huge impact. It was all thanks to the hard work of our family and the support of everyone around us. We knew that as long as we kept working together and believing in ourselves, there was no limit to what we could achieve. We were living proof that if you believe in your dreams and work hard, anything is possible. Our little family had turned into a big community of people who are learning, growing, and helping each other. At the end of each day, when we sat down together for dinner, we always smiled at each other. We had come so far from that difficult time when Dad lost his job. Now we were stronger, happier, and more connected than ever. And we knew that no matter what challenges came our way, we would face them together. Mom always reminded us, we're not finished yet, we're just getting started. As we continued to work together, something amazing happened. People from other villages started hearing about our little school and they wanted to visit. They wanted to know how we were helping the children learn and grow. One day, a group of people came from a village that was far away. They had heard that we were teaching kids how to read and write, and they wanted to learn how to do the same in their village. They came to see our school, and they were so happy to see the children reading books and writing their names. It made us feel proud of all the hard work we had done. The people from the other village asked, how did you do it? How did you teach the children so much? Mom smiled and said, we did it by working together. We believe that everyone can learn and grow. It doesn't matter where you live or how old you are. Everyone has the ability to learn. The visitors were very impressed. They said they wanted to go back to their village and start teaching the children there too. We were happy to help. We gave them some of the books we used, and the mom showed them some of the games and activities we played to help the kids learn. It was amazing to think that we were teaching others how to teach. Soon, more people came to visit. Some were teachers and some were parents. They all wanted to learn how to help children. Each time someone came to visit, we felt proud of what we had built. Our little family was helping people from far away, and it made us realize how powerful learning could be. One of the visitors, a teacher named Amina, asked if she could stay and learn with us. She wanted to see how we did everything. We were happy to have her stay. She learned so much during her visit. After a few weeks, she went back to her village and started teaching the children there. She used the things she learned from us to help them read and write. She even sent us letters to thank us for all the help we gave her. Our school grew bigger and bigger. More kids joined, and we even had a group of older kids who helped teach the younger ones. We learned that when you share what you know, it doesn't just help you, it helps everyone around you. It made us all feel happy to know that we were making a difference. We didn't just stop with teaching reading and writing, we also taught the children how to take care of the earth. Mom showed the kids how to plant trees, and Dad taught them about animals and plants. We all worked together to make the world a better place. One day, we decided to build a small garden next to our school. We planted flowers, vegetables, and trees. It was so much fun. The children helped by digging the soil, planting the seeds, and watering the plants every day. We even made signs with the names of the plants and flowers so everyone could learn what they were. The garden grew bigger and more beautiful every day. It didn't just make our school look nice, it also taught us the importance of taking care of the earth. We learned how plants and trees help keep the air clean and how vegetables help keep our bodies healthy. Soon our garden became a place where everyone wanted to visit. The children played there during breaks, and sometimes we sat in the shade of the trees to read stories or talk about our day. It was a peaceful place full of life and love with love. Our school wasn't just a place for books, it was a place for dreams, for laughter, and for hope. And every day we worked together to make those dreams come true.